You know, Chuck, I still feel like something's missing in the show. I mean, I know that there's some interpretive dance later. It's pretty cool.
That's true. I'm looking forward to that.
But to me, we need to start out this because it's a Christian event. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was thinking that we would have one of the best Bible teachers around share a story. This is a quick story from the Bible.
Oh, all right. Well, I'd gladly give you my thoughts on that. Who'd you have in mind?
Me.
No. You said quick, you said Bible story, and you said great, and I just...
There's no trust between us anymore. It's like... We'll talk about that later. Anyway. Chuck, please, come on.
We have a history. I don't know that you need to be sharing anything with me.
They want to hear a Bible story.
I don't think that.
There's a connection, Chuck.
Like a dog returns to its vomit. That's all I'm saying to you. That's all I'm saying. You've been warned. I wash my hands of it.
I thought what we could do, Chuck, is because we're under the new covenant.
Good.
I tell a story quick from the New Testament.
The New Testament. You're going to tell a story from the New
Yes,
Testament?
because Abraham came down from the mountain. He's got the 2 tablets, right? Because God's a doctor, the great physician. He said, take 2 tablets, call me in the morning. Abraham comes down with the tablets. He breaks the tablets. Boom. Old Testament gone. New Testament, resurrected.
You don't even know what a testament is, do you?
Yes.
All right, Bible teacher.
It's a small breath mint. You can buy at this bookstore. Testament.
So wait.
The Testament.
So wait a second. Hang on.
No, seriously.
So you're telling me there was an Old Testament that
Yes.
Moses dropped and broke?
All the old people in the Old Testament
Now it's a
had
breath
bad
mint
breath.
they couldn't use anymore.
The Old
and
Testament-
they needed a New Testament.
The Old Testament people had bad breath.
Wow.
And so God raised up a New Testament. Freshier, mintier. So that's why I want to tell a story about.
All right, can you make it quick?
I'm going to make it real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Our story starts out with Joseph. Okay? Christmas morning, there's Jesus, and Jesus' earthly father is Joseph.
Joseph, that's right. That's
so
correct.
as Jesus grew, Jesus' brothers were very jealous because Joseph had this coat of many colors. And
Wait, no. That's Joseph from the 12 tribes of Israel.
Who was Jesus' dad. Stay with me. Who's going to stay with me? Okay. So Joseph, Jesus' dad, who owned a coat of many colors, he really liked that coat. And Jesus' brothers did not like this. No, they were very jealous of him, and so they threw Joseph down into a well.
A whale?
Yes.
Jonah. Okay.
But listen, after 3 days, Joseph repented of bad fashion, and the whale just hacked him right back up. It hacked him right back up. But you're getting me sidetracked. That's not even what I want to say about. So, I want to talk about the New Testament now.
Okay.
Jesus, okay? Jesus is teaching, right? And suddenly this dude named Nicodemus comes along. Nicodemus.
I think what you needed there was Nicodemus.
Okay, I don't need that because I don't smoke. Okay. If you smoke, though, you can use the patch right there. And because the gum,
The Nicodemus
the
patch.
Nicodemus gum tastes terrible. It tastes terrible. I thought I had extra, but it's something extra in there. It was like, so, don't do that. So anyway,
Sorry to interrupt.
Anyway, so Nicodemus comes to Jesus and he says, "What must I do to be saved?" And Jesus says, "You must enter into your mother's womb." And Nicodemus says, "That's impossible." And Jesus says, "With man, things are impossible. With God, all things are possible." So you can do it, is what Jesus said. You did. And so, if anybody could do it too, it was Nicodemus, because he was a wee little man. A wee little man was he.
That's Zacchaeus.
What?
That's Zacchaeus.
Yeah, Nicodemus Zacchaeus. It's a tiny guy. Nicodemus Zacchaeus. Nicodemus Zacchaeus.
How silly of me.
Alright, so anyway, that's not even, you still got me sidetracked.
Sorry.
That's not even what I'm talking
It's
about.
kind of hard to keep you from getting sidetracked.
I want to
I
talk
have
to
no clue
you.
what you're talking
What I
about.
want to talk about is what it is really about. The New Testament is about the Book of Acts.
The Book of Acts.
Yes.
Okay. Great.
The Book of Acts is also called the Acts of the Apostles.
That's true.
Okay? Most people don't know that, but now we know. Acts of the Apostles. And it's loosely based on a large hatchet that the apostles would use when they got really mad. They had
So you're saying it was
hatchet.
So the hatchet was the axe of the apostles? Axe. Acts. No. Acts. A-C-T-S. Acts.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T, find out what it means to me. Talk it to me. I don't know. Anyway, the book of Acts is loosely based on a large hatchet that all the apostles used. Now, they call it the Acts of the Apostles because apostles, as far back as we know, used it. All the historians agree.
All the historians?
Yes.
Who?
All.
Every historian.
All of them. All the historians agree. Adam used it in the garden. Actually, he got in trouble because he cut down the tree of life. It was really bad. He cut down the tree of life, and God came in the cool of the garden. Adam, did you cut down the tree of life? And Adam said, I cannot tell a lie.
That's George Washington.
Where? No, you got me. He's dead. Stop it. I know who that is, though. The founder of the dollar bill. So God says, did you cut down the tree of life? And Adam said, I cannot tell a lie. It was the woman that thou gavest me. Yeah, serious. And then Elijah used it. Remember Elijah when he flew off the handle that time, and it floated, Acts head floated, and Sandblast, the Samsonite used it. And he cut down the cedars of Lebanon to make a whole new business suitcases. So Samsonite suitcases. They're very heavy. It's an early model.
That's good.
And then who else? John Bunyan used it.
Wait. John Bunyan. You're talking Christian history, author of Pilgrim's Progress. John Bunyan.
Babe.
That's Paul Bunyan.
Right, John Paul Bunyan. Who was John Paul Bunyan?
John Paul Bunyan.
Yeah, it was the first pope. Pope John Paul Bunyan. He was the first pope. He used the Acts too. But mainly who used it, though, I'm getting to the point now. Mainly who used it was Paul.
Paul, okay.
Yes. Paul, who was Saul before, and then became
Saul, who became Paul. That's one fact, actually.
Right.
In 10 minutes, that's good.
On the road to Damascus is when he... On the road to Damascus. And he got lost, and he got converted. He did. And he got lost on the road to Damascus, and it was bad because, he was kind of had a bad sense of direction. And that's why he went on these missionary journeys, and Bible got maps. That's why Bible got maps. Bible got maps.
What are you talking about?
So that Paul could find his way on the missionary journeys. There's little colored arrows in the back on the maps of how he could find his way. That's why that's back there.
So Paul just pulled out his study Bible and followed the maps on the back that had the arrows of where he was supposed to go. They were color-coded.
Yeah.
Of course.
He also taught on the armor of God, Chuck.
Okay.
The breastplate of righteousness and the shield of faith and all that.
Yeah.
He also had the lesser known, a lot of people don't know the other armor pieces.
What are you talking about?
There are other armor pieces that Paul talked about.
There are not any other.
Other notes.
There are no other armor pieces.
Yes, there was the shin guards of fitness. There was the elbow pads of style. There was the shield of drums.
The shield of drums.
The butt plate of breastplates.
Okay.
The butt plate. Anyway, Paul, back to Paul. Paul used the Acts of the Apostles all the time. In fact, that's the reason why they called him Saul, because he would cut the people. It would torment the Christians by cutting them and then pouring salt in their wound, which is Lot's wife, and that goes back a long time. But he poured salt in their wound, and he used the Acts of the Apostles and to do that. And they said, you should use that for that. That's the Acts of the Apostles, and you're not an apostle. And so they called him Saul because he uses salt to cut people with. In fact, Saul was short for Solomon because it was really short for Solomon. They called him, that's his name, Solomon Half. They'd say, here comes Solomon Half.
They
called him Solomon Half. That was his name. And they called him Saul for short.
Because
one time they brought a baby to him, and they said, which mother belongs to this baby? And Paul said, Solomon Half. He said, Solomon Half. He was very wise.
Would you please move on?
Okay, so anyway, Paul, he enlisted the deacons, the first deacons. Remember, the widows were out of money because they gave all their last penny, and then they were going to eat their last loaf of bread and die. That was going to be it. But then one of the deacons came along and said, fill up these jars with oil so that you'll have enough for your lamps, because the bridegroom's coming. And so that's what they did. They filled them up and they filled up their containers, and he went up to the third heaven. He disappeared. And they said, who was that deacon? And they said, I don't know. There was a guy that told us to fill up the jars jars, and so they said, let's call him Philip the jars, and that's his name, Philip.
That's
the deacon.
That's the deacon Philip, of course.
Philip the deacon. Now, Philip was later beheaded because he was imprisoned by the Romans, and everybody knows that the Romans were, the Roman rulers were kind of insecure about their height. So they're very angry.
You're telling me the rulers of Rome, the Roman rulers, were insecure about their height in this
Yes.
Bible?
Well, everybody knows that the Roman ruler is only 12 inches tall. Just a very... And so, after they had captured Philip, he was very angry because Herodias danced around. So he said, bring them in, and Rome is in Italy. So he says, bring them me to Philip's head. And so they went out and they got his head and cut it off and brought it in a silver platter. It's like, what's this? All I wanted was a screwdriver. And that's why...
Philip's head. Yeah, that's all he wanted was a Philip's head.
No, all I wanted was... They were confused because his head was pointy. And that's why the expression, you have a point, comes from. You have a point.
Wow.
You have a point.
Yeah. Don't blame me for this, folks. You guys chose this one. I just want to say.
But anyway, I guess I'll just say that Acts has a lot of people in it. It's great. You should read it sometime.
You should too.
Yeah. There's real estate scams. Ananias and Sapphira. Remember them? They came along.
Sapphira.
Oh my.
Yes. Hallelujah. And there's one disciple. He was really bad. Stephen kind of ruined his testimony because
Stephen ruined his testimony.
Yeah, he had a drug problem. I'm not talking about being drugged to church. He was out getting stoned in front of everybody. And he looked up, saw visions. He was kind of. Okay. But we need to get along with the show now.
Please.
All these people are waiting.
Yeah.
So I'll just say we need the moral of the story.
The moral to the story?
Yes. When you encounter persecution, don't lose your head like them. Turn the other cheek, like Jesus did. And once you've turned all four, 1, 2.
Yeah, we got it.
Once you've turned all 4 cheeks, if they still won't listen to you, take the Acts of the Apostles. Solomon had it.
There you go, Bible story.